But before we go, I wanted to find out if anybody has any questions. So we can't take more than 3. So if you have any questions, okay. Can someone come give him the mic? I think the question will be for you. So.
Yeah, how are you sure it will be for me? The idea that a woman can pass the mic, that's feminism. Years ago, no woman.
So, I was opportune to be trained by Godwin Tom. I was opportune to be trained by Godwin Tom. And I want to ask a question. When, as a manager, you manage an upcoming artist, sometimes you have to spend your own money to push this artist, to go for meetings, to probably book shows, because some agents say you have to tip us and stuff, so you drop money to book shows and stuff. At what point should a manager stop doing that? That's one.
Okay, go ahead.
Second thing, I'm going to shoot a shot at you. I applied for one of your management.
When I put out the tweets?
Yes, you were looking for managers.
Yeah.
I applied. I got your email.
Did I respond to you?
Yes, you responded.
And I said,
then,
I sent from another mail.
Yes, you sent from another mail.
Oh, wow.
Then
you made it.
You didn't respond again.
I
am still available.
Yes. I was just like, hey, let me just ask people to. I got one mail, at least one mail every minute for 5 days. At least one mail every minute for 5 days straight. So I really tried. And the first mail I sent was my actual work mail. Because I thought that maybe I'll get maybe 200 mails. You know, I was like, people will come, I'll read through it, because I was looking for a few things. But Godwin, we'll connect, we'll talk. We're always looking for people.
Okay.
He can answer that question better than me.
Godwin, I would send you a DM or message on WhatsApp so that we can connect.
Sure.
You are the link.
I'm going to answer your first question about when does the manager stop spending his money. Abi, that's your question. Who's helping us with the mic? So, 2 things. As a manager, you have to decide from the beginning what role you're coming in to play. Yeah? And so if you do not have money to start a conversation, right, you must be clear about, in terms of putting your own money down. Sometimes putting your money down is, we need to eat. I think we did that, but I don't think it was an investment. It was not considered an investment. At some point, I had more money in my pocket than he did. Sometimes he had more money in his pocket than I did. So that's a different conversation. If you're talking about an investment, that means you're putting a budget down. And you're saying, we're going to pay for studio. We're going to pay for... If you start doing that, you need to be clear with the artist about the fact that you expect to recoup. Because if you're doing it as my friend, I'm going to assume that you're my guy. And the day you start telling me, this guy, I spent so much money, I'm like, but I thought you were my guy. Because there's no clear communication. And what I always say is a contract is not about trust. Because if it was about trust, we wouldn't write it. It's mainly about clarity. So when you start this conversation and you say, oh, I have some money and I believe in this artist, I want to start putting it down. You must put that money, that conversation in writing and say, look, this is our agreement, so there's no misunderstanding. That's the best way. So if you start, understand that you have to finish because your money is now hanging, right? But if it's something that you're just doing and you're like, look, I don't have money to invest, then you need to start making money. So the answer to that question is you end up not spending any more money when you start making money for the artist. You start recouping and start generating your own money, and then you don't feel the need to do that anymore.
Somebody in the back.
Good evening, ladies and gents. My name is Banji, and I used to think I was MI's #1 fan. I'd like to throw a question, a brief one, at Mr. Godwin Tom.
This is like that one they call Day. I was
Really?
invited here as a guest, but all the questions are for Godwin. No problem.
I would like you to just succinctly answer, what does it take to be an artist manager? About 10 days ago at the British Council, I overheard you asking a question concerning A&R. What are the major areas of difference or intersection in A&R and artist manager?
Okay.
Thank
First
you.
of all, here we have a lot of A&Rs that think they're managers. And we have a lot of managers that think that they're A&R. We have a few people who can do both, like Osage, right? She can see spot talent, she can identify what producer to bring on board. She can produce and create, right? Not all of us can do that. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that, right? So there are people who are able to spot talent, identify, but they don't know how to do the business. But they're so stuck on the fact that they found the artist that they do not want to let go of the artist because they're like, oh, this artist will start making money and all the work I did to find the artist will be wasted. What you do instead is you partner with a manager and work with the person. So you help ensure that the music is on point while the manager goes out to find the business. This is one of the problems we have. As he said, we don't trust each other here. As black people, we have a problem trusting each other. So if I'm bringing somebody else to the table, for instance, Obinna is a better A&R than I am. So Obinna would play a very specific role with MI in 2008. And I would play a different role with MI in 2008. But both of us could work together. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's one. About what it takes to be a manager, what I usually tell people, I could tell you is patience, it's negotiations, but a lot of things you will learn. A lot of things will humble you. I remember our first Diamond Bank check. I sat, was Close Bank, Equatorial. Yeah, I was feeling cool. They're paying us 350K. That was like high. That year was a lot. And I was like, okay, we're going to go in, get the money, come out. I sat for 3 hours, 30 minutes, waiting for a 350,000 naira check. Don't worry about humility. You'll be humbled, right? So the focus instead is, I would tell people, outside humility and learning to negotiate and building a network, go and learn about business first. Understand how business works. Whether you are in the music industry, or you are in telecoms, or you are in oil, or you're in construction, business principles apply across. And the Nigerian, especially here, the industry is dependent heavily on marketing budgets of other sectors. Heavily. For now, hopefully it changes soon. But for now, it's still heavily dependent on that. And that means you're going to be having conversations with people in other sectors of the economy. And if you don't understand business, they're going to continue to take advantage of us. Simple. So the first thing I'll advise is learn about business. Understand what it means to be a business person. And then you can adapt it to the industry or whatever your job is. That's what I'll advise. Yes, somebody else has a question. Let's take a lady. This is a very male.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Godwin. Good evening, MI. Good evening, Timi Dakolo. My name is Christiana, and I am a tax manager, Godwin.
Hi.
Hi. So my question is really straightforward. MI, calm down.
No, she's helping me manage my taxes.
Yeah.
They're going to be helping me manage my taxes.
I'm glad Godwin talked about learning about business. And in Nigeria of today, you know that tax is a major part of your business. The government is an invincible stakeholder in your business, so you can't really avoid them. My question now is for Timmy and possibly Timmy and MI. What is your take on celebrities paying their taxes and paying the correct amount, the right amount of taxes? Thank you.
We shouldn't have given her the mic. We shouldn't have given her the mic.
I'm here.
Okay, so Timmy, you want to answer and then ask your question?
Are you LRS? Okay, private, yeah.
We are avoiding all of them.
They've hit me at Pakona. Taxes are good, yeah? Paying tax is good. It's a very good thing. So we can be able to shout at the government when things are not done. But the fact is, I really don't understand how they come up with these figures. If you are paying tax, if LRS has come to you, you won't know what I'm saying. They will shake your belief. You see your tax and you am I laughing? They brought one tax. I said, excuse me, I don't have oil rig. I started shouting, I'm an upcoming artist. I've had only one album. One album. But taxes are meant to be used to build roads and everything. I pay my tax as much. What I do is, when I go for events, I actually remove my tax because I cannot come and be explaining myself later. Based on last year LRS later. Celebrities should pay tax so that I can be able to say rightfully, strongly, say to government officials and say, this is my tax receipt and this is what you are not doing. Because in Lagos right now, we don't even know where, in all honesty, I think Lagos is on a standstill. Since we had that coup that they just plotted in Ambode, I'm saying the truth. After the coup with Ambode, Lagos is in the standstill. Everybody's doing their own. Last man is doing their own. Nobody's answering anybody. We're enjoying traffic, potholes. You can just be walking on the road. You enter one pothole. You don't know how you got here. If you're looking at Lagos like, this is not how Lagos used to be like 1 month ago. Like everything is just happening to us. Someone is laughing. Let me stand and say this. It is not wrong to pay tax, but how people get to these figures is what I don't understand. It's like someone just say, Timmy, 12 million.
Hi, everyone. So the name of my company is Tax Aid Professional Services Limited. We're actually very close. Sorry, but I just wanted to say something that we have a slogan, and what we do is, or what we say is, at Tax Aid, we help you pay the right amount of taxes, not a couple more and not a couple less. So let me just put this as a disclaimer. We are not the people that you come to help you evade taxes. We don't do that. But we make sure that you pay the right amount. So whenever the LRS comes to you and gives you 12 million naira, Timmy, you know who you to call. Christiana. Okay, they've sent me a letter of 50 million for something, money that I did not earn. And I know what to do. I'll take it up from there. So it's not really your headache.
Godwin Tom.
Yes, I hear you.
This program was put together for this lady. So I think we should pay tax. We should not avoid paying tax. Because I think in other countries, I think in UK, if you dodge tax, it's like killing someone. Oh. Your jail time is very serious. It's not even the upside when people see you. When you be in jail, it's down there with murderers and everything. So a lot of things that in a system like this, people get away with a lot. People in Nigeria, people get away with a lot. You enter one supermarket today, sliced bread is 500. You enter the next one opposite it, it's 750. Plus VAT, you are paying for things you are not using. You cannot return anything. Custom charged me. I bought a lens for my wife that is 1,000 something. Custom is charging me 8,000 something dollars. They're charging me 300,000 naira to collect it for something I bought 1,000 something. So see today, as I mean, I've paid though, but I'm still calculating how they got that this thing. We all need to know about how much you should pay for tax and what you can avoid and all that.
I have an idea. So one of my shows, I'm going to bring FIRS and LRS here on one of it, just to solve some problems. So Timmy, do you still have a question? For Emma? Okay.
Just leave Emma alone. Yeah. I'm going to speak from the artist's perspective right now. How do you make music? Do you get the beat first, then the lyrics? Or do you get the lyrics first before the music? You understand what I'm trying to say? Me, I like to have my ideas running in my head before I put down the words, because I feel like if I have a beat, it limits me to what I can say. I'm just saying openly what works for you, because I've followed you right from.
That's false. I followed him before he followed me. Pause. In a straight way, heterosexual, as a fan. For me, I think that music, for me, the best way I can describe it is like meeting a woman. You don't know what you're going to be attracted to first. It might be on the phone, you hear a voice. It might be you see her walking and you're attracted to her body. It might be her face. It might be she did something kind to someone. I mean, if you think back at the people you've dated or the first day you met your wife or something, there's always a different story. So for me, I will put myself in a place where I know I'm now ready to start recording. And then I just try to live life. I ask a lot of people questions. Like this last album, Young Denzel, I had an idea, and my idea was headed this way. By the time I did my research, I was heading this other direction. I just live life. I ask people questions. If you have ever hung around me, you see that when I'm in a new place, I ask a lot of questions. Where are you from? How did you meet? How did you? And I'm trying to get as much information as I can. And then gradually, the song ideas will come out, and then I listen to maybe, I have a number for Chairman album. I recorded 183 ideas. So just different snippets. So I just listen to beat after beat after beat after beat after beat. Try, touch. There are people like, the people that you need to ask this question are people like Jesse Jacks. Because mine is trial and error. But Jesse just watches Chinese films, reads the history of Nigeria, do you understand? Bants, the bush. And then one day he doesn't have the studio and just record. In 1 week, just record 10 songs. And all of us that have been working for the last 5 months, we go and listen. When you hear the first bar, you're like, my life is a waste. I was in just with him recently and he just played me new music. Just like, and he's always shy when he's playing new music. So he's like looking at me like, what's am I going to do? I just heard 2 lines. I'm like, God, this boy, God, he's done it again. But yeah, it's a process for real artists, of which I believe that we can all agree that Timmy is one. People that are not defined by what's happening in the commercial space, they're finding truth. They're finding, they're writing important songs. No, it's true. And I think for true artists, that process is humbling when you have a song because you did it. It's not about your sense or you sabi or it's something that happens organically. And his new album, by the way, which I'm on. Am I still on it? Okay. I'm on the first one. Hey, but listen, you guys need to respect me. I've been through a lot. But I'm on Timmy's 2 albums. Whose album are you on? Huh? Jokes. Well, is that all the questions? I want to say before we go that it's an honor to be here. Honor to be the first. Oh, you have a question? Okay. Sorry. Please, I want to ask a question. When your wife tickles you, is she scratching the surface?
No comment. Okay, so Audu was in charge of Chocolate City Music for a couple of years, then moved to Chocolate City Group. You took over Chocolate City Music. Now, the question is this. Music has evolved from when Audu was CEO to different formats. It was just albums and the rest of them. Which do you think, I know it's an unfair question to you, putting you on the spot, but which of the Chocolate City Music would you say is more profitable? Audu or now?
That's a very simple question. Definitely Audu's Chocolate City was more profitable. I think with music, there's something that happens that gives us the opportunity to develop process. Then, after that, there's a period where you now need to figure out what that process is, and you need to develop on the systems. And I think that, I say this, that we were lucky early on. Audu met Jeremiah Gang. Through Jeremiah Gang, he met. So Audu, I was not the first artist on Chocolate City. There was Asha somewhat and 6 Foot Plus. Nobody really knows that part of the story. Then Jeremiah. And all those stories, they didn't really end very well. But here he meets this guy called MI. Studio in Jos. You knew us from Jos. And you knew that Chocolate City that people know today was Chocolate City in Jos already. He met this guy called MI that had the system around him. We got off to a rocky start, but 1 year in, things just took off. Recorded a song called Safe, put it out, everything changed. And then now you want to look back 10 years later and find that lightning again. And now, as every label finds that it becomes harder to do after your period has passed. First of all, you attract artists that in some sense may be entitled. They may believe that it's going to be easier. There's a lot of things that you learn and have to unlearn, but I would tell you that Chocolate City today is not as profitable as it was, but it's healthier and it is more solidified for the future. So what we're going to do next, by God's grace, since Godwin has done this, in January, I want to start doing, how Apple do their talk. I want to start explaining the process of what we're doing. Wow. Let me do it first, please. Nigeria, we celebrate when someone goes into office. He has not done the job yet, too, but we celebrate. We do Thanksgiving. Wow, you got a job. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but I'm going to start doing explaining the process of where we are. Today in Chocolate City, we have 6 labels under us. CBN is the one that everybody knows, which has myself, Dice, etc. But we have 5 other labels. We have a lot that's happening. We're growing. When we do the talk, you see. And it's been a hard, tough road for me. But I've been accepting of the fact that God is preparing me for something else in this process because it's been very tough. I've had to learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. You've worked in corporate space for a long time as a creative, and you can imagine somebody being given the top job in a corporate environment coming from a purely creative space. Guys, I think that's it. Godwin wants to end, but I'm going to say something to him before we go, which is this idea he told me about 2 years ago. Remember, 2 years ago? And I want to say that I meant it when I said that sometimes things have to happen the way they did. When I look back at my time working with Godwin, I look back and I'm blessed to have worked with this incredibly amazing, intelligent, driven young man. Like, Godwin is one of the guys that in our industry that is always working and always serving. There are so many managers that are not serving, and that's the key for management. If you're not willing to serve, you cannot manage. You will be in a meeting and you will self-serve. You will talk about your feelings, you talk about your thoughts, you talk about what your own ideas are. But for you to have managed from Whiskey to Ice Prince to One Day to Waje to MI to NATO to the roster is ridiculous. It's incredible. I know you're just getting started. It's a privilege to be here. God bless you, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do next over the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Amazing.
What normally happens, hold on.